Thank God Fred's here. One person
One
tonight.
Fred.
One person. Times are getting tough and lean.
Yep. It's going to be a personal conversation
Yep.
between Fred
and the Barriques guys. We're going to have to do this once with the live studio audience. Just for shits and giggles. For giggles.
Hi, guys.
Thank God, if the family's not here, then we are screwed.
Thankfully, I could remind someone not to miss it this week.
Nice of them.
Moms, wife, and Fred.
It's a family affair. We're just talking to ourselves. We could just do this over FaceTime, for God's sakes. All right, let's do this. Let's get started. Thank you, everybody, for being here. 44th episode of Brick Coffee, Wine, and Treats. We have at least 6 more of these in ourselves. I say we're doing this for at least 1 year, so 6 puts us probably pretty close to where we were. We have some fun stuff, although we were setting up in our usual fashion as we do on Wednesday nights, and I feel like the display is a little bit lame tonight.
Yeah, we're a little lean.
I don't know why that is. I can't quite figure it out. We used to maybe have boxes of stuff, but it just seems very light.
Well, we had all the holiday holiday boxes that were up here.
That's true.
So lots of Christmas gifts.
There is
that are gone.
Multitude of alcohols up here, though. I would have to say that it's one of the greatest variety of alcohols, especially when you consider we threw in some schnapps.
Yep. And a little chocolate.
Yep. Everything that we talk about tonight, you can actually purchase. Not that that's completely the point, but sort of the point of this whole thing. At the BarriquesMarket.com website, if you go up to events and CWT Live, believe it or not, it is February 3rd. I'm not exactly sure how we got out of January as fast as we did, but any of you that are watching this that are living in Wisconsin are happy that we're already done with January.
Yep. Shoveling our way out.
1 more month closer to spring. The piles of snow are
they're big.
Old school piles of snow. Yeah. I mean, I don't remember a time when it's been a long time since
I walked this morning, and when the pile or alongside the sidewalk, the route, it's higher than your kneecap.
I know, that's a lot of snow. So out on the CWT site, February 3rd show, all the stuff we're going to talk about tonight is for sale, including the Innocent Bystander Sauvignon Blanc, which is our...
It's a pretty sweet label.
Yeah, it's our...
In our label approval category.
It actually matters.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have sucky packaging, unless you're... it's true. Unless it's...
sucky.
Unless it is a fantastic product and you know about it, the chances of you picking it up are not going to help you. Mm-hmm. Now, everybody's definition of what is a nice label and what is not is different. I'm going to do this because I have that bad Barolo in there.
Fresh glass.
So this is our email special. The Innocent Bystander Sauvignon Blanc, kind of an interesting name. I actually don't know the story behind it, but this is a down under wine made from both grapes in Marlborough and New Zealand. Right?
Well, Marlborough is in New Zealand.
True. Sorry. Oh God! Did I just actually say that?
Yes.
Did I say that out loud? Well, he looks for grapes in Australia and New Zealand.
Yes.
For some reason, I just put those things in 2 different countries. Awesome. This almost didn't happen today because we throw this out there to this small group of email customers, and they literally almost bought the entire shebang up because we don't have a ton of this stuff. But tell us why you chose this wine, and we could talk about the price, which is a big reason why I think it's sold out today, or almost sold out today.
Well, New Zealand's kind of, it's a hot category, Sauvignon Blanc, especially if you're from New Zealand.
Marlboro in particular.
Yeah, Marlboro in particular. Not anything to do with the smoking man. Marlboro. And this is a winemaker and group actually from Australia. And the winery and the focus is to go to the individual regions to create the best wine from that region. And so New Zealand, known for their Sauvignon Blancs, in the Marlborough region, they produce a Sauvignon Blanc, and then subsequently in the central Otago area, which is famous for their Pinot Noirs to rival Oregon and Burgundy, they produce a Pinot Noir there. So this winemaker goes around and secures great vineyard sites to make these wines. And this particular Sauvignon Blanc is sourced from both a warmer part of the valley and a cooler part. And they're doing a combination of the two fruits. So you get the nice, rich, kind of tropical-y kind of qualities to it, but then also that bright, fresh, citrusy quality from the cooler part of the valley. So
it's
not from the two different countries.
Oh, God, I live that one down. Never. I mean, if I just were to ignore for 1 second what time of year we're in, I distinctly remember some things that we talked about in June, July, and August that remind me of this. That remind me of what it's like outside when you drink something like this.
Yeah. We needed something refreshing.
100%.
Something that was lively and fun and bright, and we're out of January, so it's no longer dry January. We're into February, so you can get back into eating some fish and having some wine. So
one of the things I like about this, as a lot of New Zealand Sauvignon Blancs are acidic in a way, or tart enough in a way that it kind of tears your palate up a little bit. This is not that. Similar to, what did we do?
Mahua?
No. Recently, sugar. 2 or 3 episodes ago, it had a little bit of that. You used the oily as in the descriptor, if you recall. Do you remember what I'm talking about? Anyway, it's more round on the palate. It doesn't just completely wipe out your tongue, wipe out your palate. I mean, I'm not as big of a New Zealand Sauv Blanc fan, I know, as some.
It still has that refreshing acidity that makes you want food.
Yes.
But you can drink it. I mean.
Yeah, not overly tart.
Yeah.
Not too much gooseberry and stuff like that. And I think one of the reasons why this thing was so successful, especially because it is from Marlborough and New Zealand, $15.99 is what this thing is typically priced at. So off of the wall 100, not quite there, but we did a pretty huge discount. You can get one of these bottles for $11.99, which is really an insane deal. This is as good as you get for $11.99. And as we had alluded to up front, quantities are a little bit light. We're working on getting some more. We'll have some more for sure by next week. So if you get out there and you're trying to purchase some and unable to at the store of your choosing, just wait a little bit or email Finn or Matt at barriquesmarket.com and we'll be able to hook you up. Mm-hmm. This is fun. This is good. We did their Moscato.
Yeah.
Moscato.
The pink Moscato.
A couple years ago.
Which came from Victoria.
Yeah.
So they're going to the regions that grow the best fruit for that particular varietal.
So pretty cool. Do you know the story behind the name Innocent Bystander?
No.
Okay. Well, we'll have to look that up for another episode.
Nope.
No. Okay. All right. Anyway, it's kind of an interesting name for. It's a little weird. So Innocent Bystander, Sauvignon Blanc, out there for sale on the barriquesmarket.com website under events and CWT Live, the February 3rd show. You will find this for $11.99. Like I said, if we're out at your location of choice, we will get some back. Tuesday, Wednesday next week.
Yep.
This should be coming back in. So anyway, that's the Innocent Bystander Sauv Blanc. It's very great. It's from Marlborough in New Zealand.
Cool bottle.
It is a cool bottle.
Actually, I didn't even put it up on the.
Oh, that's why the thing looks so lame. We've been doing virtual tastings, as all of you out there probably know. We beat this dead like a horse.
But they're fun.
They're totally fun. That's why we keep talking about them. We had a great experience this past weekend with some folks that talked to us about wines from the French Rhone Valley, which was pretty cool. Willet Bourbon, we were talking about the day before that, on that Thursday previous to that. A lot of fun. And we've got a number of different things coming up that are definitely worth partaking in if you are so inclined. And I think the best thing about these, you don't have to, they're not particularly expensive. You get a lot, I think, for what we're charging is typically retail prices for a lot of these bottles, but the access that you get to the individuals that we're able to get to come and talk to us, including Ryan Mellinger, who is the rep for Jodo Sake, who's going to be here with us Friday. So this Friday, Jodo Sake, we've got 4 different sakes, 3 in the main tasting pack. For $39.99, there's still an opportunity to pick those up.
This is a 3-peat.
This is number 3.
This is number 3. They were so popular that we had, the demand was to do yet another sake.
For sure.
Which I don't have a problem getting some sushi and some suggested potato chips, maybe vanilla ice cream.
Vanilla ice cream.
Yeah.
That's one.
It's one of the recommended pairings.
All right. Cool.
So.
I mean, this is the best.
Yeah.
One of the sakes that you're going to get in the tasting pack is something they call the 1 cup. I've not been to Japan, but apparently things like this are sold in vending machines, which is so great.
It's before you get on the train to go home.
Yeah.
You grab yourself a 1 cup, get on the train.
I mean,
have a little sake.
That's the greatest.
High-speed train.
That's good stuff. Even if you may have had a bad experience with sake, I would strongly encourage you to join us. The products are great. The stories that Ryan will tell about the different breweries over in Japan are super interesting.
She's super passionate about sake.
Yeah, I mean they're so interesting and so incredibly different. That's the other thing about these. You almost can't not find something that you like. And one of the neatest aspects of sake that I wasn't as familiar with until we started doing these is these things last quite a while once you open them in the fridge. You can have them for several weeks and they're still pretty fresh and delicious. So it's kind of one of those things that I now have in my refrigerator on a regular basis. So that is the Jodo Sake tasting coming up this Friday with Ryan Melner, $39.99. Join us.
Get yourself a plate of sushi.
Get yourself a plate of
potato chips. Some vanilla ice cream.
Yeah, in fact,
maybe some grilled steak.
Any of those things would work. The invite that has all the Zoom connection instructions has a bunch of food pairing instructions for all the different sakes. So that's pretty interesting. And there's some weird ones like potato chips or vanilla ice cream.
Yeah,
it's bizarre. We're going to fast forward a quick second to February 19th. We're doing an event with the Prisoner Wine Company. We have their winemaker who's going to be coming and joining us that evening. It's a little more expensive. Prisoner is the Prisoner Red Blend is probably one of the most recognizable sort of culty
Napa Reds
out there. And the tasting pack in this case includes a 375, so a half bottle of that Prisoner Red Blend, a half bottle 375 of the Prisoner Chardonnay, and a half bottle of the Prisoner Cabernet. Same deal as normal. You grab that tasting pack, we'll send you the connection instructions, and then on the 19th at 7 o'clock, you get on with a bunch of us, including the winemaker for Prisoner, which is pretty awesome, and we'll spend an hour and a half just talking about the wine, talking about Prisoner. It's obviously a huge brand.
And if you do order, we have more tasting packs going into Middleton and Fitchburg tomorrow and Friday. So if you try to order it online and it doesn't show up right away, they will have more stock later this week.
Oh, that's right.
Because they both sold out of the first round. So
okay, so you have a little bit of time. That is February 19th. It's kind of designed to be something about kind of a Valentine's Day present. I think I said it's $95 basically, and so it's just something that you can perhaps give to somebody who's really into wine. It certainly will tell them that you love them, and then you can go drink a bunch of wine a week later.
And I don't know why I didn't think of this earlier, but the innuendo
Yes.
of that you're doing a Valentine's Day lover's gift called Prisoner.
Yes, I ran into that last week when I was trying to figure out how to exactly promote something called Prisoner for Valentine's Day.
Nothing says love like Prisoner.
Totally. Oh, God. All right, so that is February 19th. Backing up a little bit, a little more complicated event to describe, we have the Cupids Envy beer is a beer from Wisconsin Brewing Company here in Madison. It is a beer that has a good, healthy dose of Barriques coffee in it. The precursor to this beer was something called Porter Joe. And in fact, we created a specific coffee, which is called Porter Joe, alas, for this porter beer that they put together and infused with our coffee. And then they turn around and basically age that Porter Joe beer for a period of time in another Wisconsin company's barrels, the
J. Henry.
which if you were lucky enough to get a chance to be on the virtual tasting we did with those guys, that was a lot of fun. So they turn it into this thing called Cupids Envy, and then they've got Cupid's Revenge, which is even sort of another step beyond that.
2 years.
2 years
Yep.
in these barrels, and I mean it is a wallop.
Yeah.
This is just serious beer.
It's a mouthful of chocolate.
100%.
Yeah.
So we're doing an event with them where basically they are releasing the beer on the 12th and 13th of February. You pre-order the beer through the Wisconsin Brewing Company's website, and then you will go to the brewery on the 12th or the 13th and pick that beer up. Along with that, if you buy our Cupids Envy tasting pack, you will be able to, at 6 o'clock on that Saturday, the 13th, get online with us. And this is like quite a cast of characters. We've got, of course, Finn and I, and we're really just, I don't know, we're window dressing at this point. The brewmaster from Wisconsin Brewing, Kirby Nelson, like famed Madison beer guy. David Wheatley, who is our master roaster for coffee. And then Melissa, I want to say Thiessen, who is the daughter of the owners of Schulen's Chocolate.
In Mount Horeb.
In Mount Horeb.
Yep.
Our tasting pack is kind of the food portion of this beer and food thing. So we've got, in this tasting pack is a bag of our Porter Joe coffee, of course, a couple bars of the Love Bug.
We have Schulen's Valentine's Day release Love Bug.
Yep.
Which is dark milk chocolate with dried strawberries on it. We actually busted open a bar so you can see that. It's got the dried strawberries right on the back.
Cool.
So we're going to try that. And then you also get their Columbia, the Cafe Columbia, which is Schulen's chocolate that they make with our Colombian coffee.
Yep.
And then we also are their number one selling bar, the Wisconsin Butter.
I had no idea that was their number one selling
Yeah.
bar. Wisconsin butter.
Yeah. And then to top it all off, we are creating our Barriques bacon chocolate.
Bacon candy.
Bacon candy,
Yes.
which is it's an interesting take on the kind of a southern recipe over the bacon, dipped in chocolate.
Some sort of spices
and spices, and
yeah,
it goes well with Cupids Envy.
100%.
I'll guarantee you.
So you purchase that Cupids Envy tasting pack from us. It's $24. You get all that stuff that we just talked about. You go out to the Wisconsin Brewing website, you purchase the beer, and then you will pick both of those things up at Wisconsin Brewing Company on the 12th and 13th. In fact, Finn is going to be out there when it's like 4 below zero, passing out
bags of chocolate
and coffee and such. And you'll get your beer from the Wisconsin Brewing people, and then you'll get this invite to come and join this event, which should be a lot of fun. I mean, the weather's going to be terrible. The food and the beer and all that kind of good stuff is going to be great.
And you're going to have like fresh, cool beers to take home and pop.
Yeah.
You know you're going to open them.
I mean,
it's great. Might as well, hear from the beer master himself and drink some beer, and chocolate goes perfect with Cupids Envy. So.
For sure. And then you've got coffee for the next day when you might be just a little bit hungover.
Yeah.
You just never know. So that is out there. Cupids Envy tasting pack, $24.99. Pretty reasonable for all the things that you're going to get, and a nice kind of combo if you're, again, looking for something other than stuff to give somebody for Valentine's Day. How about an event that features like a ton of Wisconsin-based products? You've got, not only obviously us, you've got Schulen's, which is of course in Wisconsin. You've got Wisconsin Brewing, which is of course Wisconsin, and you've got their beer, which is aged in barrels from a Wisconsin-based distillery.
Dane County.
Dane County, yeah,
All from Dane.
That's right.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
So you can't get any more local party favors.
100%. That is like hardcore local Valentine's Day gift.
Yep.
So I don't know. That to me is pretty cool. So that is on the event's on the 13th. Your pickup is on the 12th and the 13th. All right. So we talked about tastings. We talked about coffee. We've obviously got the Port Joe coffee. This is something that's in the stores right now. This is
limited time.
Very limited time. You can buy bags of this out for sale either through the events link that we talked about already, the June or February 3rd show section, or it's in our regular coffee lineup. They're starting to brew it in the stores. It literally came in last week, but I don't think we have like a month of this, maybe.
Yeah.
You say probably roundabout, and it's fun. It is. We were all pretty stoked when we did a lot of trial and error, and once we came up with this blend, we were more than happy to sell it in the store.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool. We have done a lot of different kinds of alcohol over the last 44 episodes. We've done bourbon and vodka and gin, sake, wine, of course, beer and everything like that. But we have not done many liqueurs. We have not done, right?
I don't think we have really done much in the. No.
Liqueurs, nothing in the schnapps department. And we were racking our brains today trying to come up with, what else haven't we had a chance to talk about? And we were looking at the weather coming up in our phones.
Especially tomorrow,
like snowy, cold, awful. And
snow day with your kids.
And hot chocolate. You're going to go to the ski. You're going to go to the sledding hill. You're going to give them their hot chocolate. You're going to have your hot chocolate. And what is it going to have in it? Little peppermint schnapps.
Little schnapps.
So we thought for sure we needed to get Wondermint involved, and we have been able to hook in at the very last moment, which we very much appreciate. Fred Swanson from Dancing Goat Distillery, who I'm going to bring on right here. Hopefully you're ready, Fred. And there you go.
Hey, guys.
Hey, thanks for patiently waiting.
No, it's awesome. It's awesome.
Tell us a little bit about Wondermint. It's one of those things that requires a little bit in our line of work of hand selling, but it's a great product, and like it was the perfect thing when we were talking about what do you want to drink on a snowy day in the middle of winter in your hot chocolate. Like, I mean, how much better can you get than this?
It's a crazy story. So we ended up with that product when Dancing Goat bought Death's Door Distillery out of Middleton. They were bankrupt at that point, and we have continued on with two products, the Death's Door Gin as well as the Wondermint. We had really no intention or even a big conversation about Wondermint. We knew it was good. We didn't realize that it had a very small but cult-like following. And those guys, we take zero credit for that recipe. That was the guys out at Death's Door. They ostensibly found an 1880s German/Austrian recipe, and they created a schnapps unlike anything that we've really ever had, particularly in big production with big houses. That is with all natural sugars as well as all natural mint. So it's thinner. It drinks easier. It's not what I call klotchy or cloying. And that, because the sugars are all natural, that allows that mint to stay around longer. And it berries really well into hot chocolate for sure. I know a ton of bakers that bake with that and use it in things like ginger snaps and in cream frostings on certain things. There's some really cool sub-ins that you can do for liquid in baking.
Yeah, I mean, it's so, the notion of like putting even like in a remote camp to like the peppermint schnapps that I think of back in the day. It's just not. It's not even remotely fair.
Yeah, yeah. This is not like that instant headache inducing syrup.
No,
that you typically associate with schnapps. It's super clean.
I mean,
it's
you
not
literally
not Rumpelmans, that's for sure.
no. I mean, you can feel very. It's almost like bad tequila and a margarita, fine, straight up, not so good. Good tequila, straight, awesome. It's like you can drink this almost. Well, you literally could, because that's what we're doing is we're making it straight.
Yeah, you might just forgo the hot chocolate and just.
When we bought Death's Door, and the word got out on the street in Madison, I only got phone calls from some of the top bar owners and bartenders about one product, and it's that product right there. And it was the same thing. Don't bury that, Fred. Tell me that you're going to still make that. So we will still make that.
Yeah.
I will tell you that you didn't chintz on glass, because this thing bounces off the floor.
It is. It's amazing, but it looks really cool. Doesn't it look like a prescription bottle, kind of like an apothecary bottle?
Well, I have to tell you, it did hit the floor today, and it did bounce. So it's still here.
Yes, we literally, in the 11th hour, as we're figuring out what we're going to do, our partners came through for us, got us a little something we could open, and I was sitting in the office, and I heard this kadoosh, kadoosh. Right after Finn had said, "Hey, don't drop that," and he had launched it onto the ground. So it's pretty good.
Awesome. That's awesome. That's not an expensive bottle, that's for sure.
For sure.
And you guys have it somewhere around $25, right?
Actually, thank you for mentioning that, because it's we put on a little bit of a deal. It's $25.49, I want to say, regularly on sale. We figured we'll give a little break, so it's $23.99 actually, which is, I think, a great deal for the quality.
It's a great deal.
Yeah.
It's one of those crazy products. Whenever I bring that to a show or to a tasting, that is the one thing, because it's so different than what we're used to. It's the one thing that people remember and end up buying a bottle. So, it's one of those things that you can have in the freezer when grandma comes for Sunday dinner. You can use to cook with, bake with. It certainly is a winter warmer and a shot for sure. So
we appreciate that. We're sitting here munching on the Love Bar from Schulen's Chocolate, and it's quite a pair.
Yeah, it goes great. So
if you made that in like slightly smaller bottles, we might include it in the Cupids Envy tasting pack, and it would be a real wow.
But I'd have to get that food, the TTB and everything, and back to you in 48 hours.
Right. So Fred, thank you for coming on. But maybe can you? What's new in the dancing goat world?
Well, I will tell you unequivocally, if people have not seen, go to our social media spots. You'll be able to see the finished views of the first rick house. That'll be for about 8,000 barrels. It's 5 stories. We did just today receive the state's variance for the next rick house that we will be building, which will be big enough for 24,000 barrels. And it'll go from a 5-story building to a 6-story building. And it'll be exactly the same size as, for example, the ricks at Wilderness Trail. So, we're plowing ahead. We're making a lot of whiskey. The new still will come in sometime at the end of this summer, and our capacity will go up to about 5,000 barrels a year.
Awesome. Well, and then, you hear those numbers, and it's like, you think it's so staggering that it's like it's such a huge space, but it's in the world of whiskey that's very small.
It's very
small. Sure.
But if you go out and see it, it's impressive. It's huge.
I know, it's enormous. That's great. Well, Fred, thank you very much for coming on. Appreciate you pimping the Wondermint. We're happy to support it, and certainly you guys at Dancing Goat. I'm looking forward to getting out there this summer. So
we absolutely want to have you guys around. Thanks for the support, and we'll see you at the sake tasting on Friday.
Yeah, I'm glad you're going to be there.
Yeah, you are going to be there.
Apparently, I have to stop now. I've got to get ice cream and potato chips.
Yeah.
There we go.
See you guys.
Right. Thanks, Fred. Cheers.
Thanks.
All right, cool.
Woo.
Fred, as always, do good for our woo.
Give us a woo. Woo.
All right, folks, that is the show for tonight. a lot of fun things to try. This is, expand your horizons a little bit. Maybe you're not a huge beer fan. There's lots of stuff in the.
This is a, despite it maybe seem
Small
like
in
small.
stature.
This is like very. It's a huge array of stuff. You got sake. You got beer, barrel aged beer,
Chocolate,
mint,
schnapps,
schnapps,
crazy cult wine. I mean,
yeah.
The Prisoner wine is. That deal is crazy, and the fact that we're going to get a chance to talk to the winemaker and stuff like that is really pretty awesome. We will be back here Wednesday next week, as we are every Wednesday for sure through episode 52. If probably
54?
not more. 52. No, I said it's 44. We're going to get through 52 one
52.
year,
Yeah,
something like that. Thank you very much for the support, and I hope you guys all have a good rest of your week. Stay safe on the roads and so forth tomorrow. Stay warm next week, and we will see you next Wednesday. Cheers.
right. Cheers. Bye.